All right. Thursday night. Thursday Education Live. Education Live Thursday. We are here. Welcome, everyone. And I am excited. To be here. We got a lot to talk about. Got a lot going on in the education world. And we got a special guest today to keep everybody healthy. So it's going to be really good. And quick things here. A couple quick things. Steve Green from Make the Grade, host of the Make the Grade podcast, host of Education Live Thursday. Education Live Thursday is sponsored by the Success Community. Yeah, if you want to check it out, if you are a parent with kids, Success Community is the place to get ongoing support, get help, get that educational stuff going. And it's simple, it's easy. www.makethegrade.community. www.makethegrade.community. That's where you want to go to check it out. So let's just talk a couple quick things, and we're going to bring our guest in for today, and we're going to roll through very quickly. In case you've been living under a rock, and probably a few people have been, or wish they've been, we are in a sort of crisis mode here. I am seeing about 40 kids a week tutoring. I'm talking to a lot of parents, and we are stuck in this kind of virtual world here. And it's not all bad, but it's affecting education a lot. I'm seeing a lot of kids really not thriving in virtual school. It's a long day to sit in front of a computer. It is a lot of time in front of a screen. It's stressful. Maybe they're not getting the same educational support that they need, or they don't relate nearly as well to a teacher virtually as they might live. So it's challenging. It is challenging, but it is what we got to be doing right now to keep everybody safe and out of the hospitals and all that jazz. And it'll come around eventually. But if you need support for this, if anybody out there needs help, if questions, whether it's academic or structural, reach out, let me know. You can email me. I'll throw that in there a little while, and we'll go from there. I want to welcome Ron Shapiro. Hello, Ron. Ron is on the call today. Ron was a major sponsor of the virtual back-to-school event earlier this month in September. Ron's at a very cool company. Education by Entertainment. Check it out. So I'll say a little bit about that more. But without any further ado, I want to tell you about our guest for tonight. And I think this is very, very timely. She is a health coach, a certified health coach, not just a health coach, a certified health coach. Also a special education teacher. I didn't really know that. We can explore that. And a mother of 3. And how many dogs? Some dogs. We'll get a count on the dogs. Probably more important that she has 3 human children. But she's kind of walking both sides of the aisle here. Let's welcome Hallie Steinberg. Hallie, hello.
Hi there.
Look at you. You look great. Great to see you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
I was just about to say, you're in kind of a unique situation here. And I don't want to go out on a limb, except I'm going to say that because not only are you a health coach and a very, very accomplished professional that way who's going to give us some major information over the next half hour or so, but you're also living the at-home parent supervising your kids on virtual learning world, right?
Yes, I.
And how many, just for the record, how many dogs do you have? 3?
2 dogs. Sadly, now we only have 2.
Okay.
And 3 kids, as you mentioned.
Yes. Yeah, the kids I kind of knew about. The dogs I wasn't 100% sure. And they're big. They're like, I don't know, golden retriever or something, big, giant, healthy, happy dogs.
English Mastiff.
How much the dogs weigh? Dog's probably bigger than your child.
They are.
Anyway, why is Hallie here? Hallie is here because Hallie, we're going to get right to it, but Hallie's got some great information about how to stay healthy, not just through your diet, but really through your lifestyle, right?
Absolutely.
I don't want to take words out of her mouth, but I'm going to steal her thunder a little bit. Big changes through little steps, right?
Absolutely.
There we go. Let me ask you a question. First of all, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us about yourself. How'd you get into the health coaching world? What's your mission? I know we'll get right into what I think are some really important topics. I got a lot of notes here. Whoa. I'm a note guy, so I got lots of notes for us to go over. So, Hallie, the stage is yours. Go ahead.
All right, great. Well, my name is Hallie Steinberg, as you mentioned. I'm a certified health coach with Hallie's Healthy Living. My background's in biology. I have a degree in biology, and then I went into teaching. I have 2 masters in education, one in regular ed and one in special ed. I taught for 8 years, basically in a predominantly language-based learning disability school. And I really love working with children of all ages. I got into health coaching really as a mom of 3, seeing how they eat and the lifestyle that they are living as well as their friends are living. I really wanted to make a difference. In the classroom, I was seeing how lifestyle, nutrition, exercise affect academic performance, but I also see it with my own children, coming from a mom perspective. So I really want to make a difference, especially in children's lives, because I really think if we instill in them the knowledge about some of these simple changes that we can do to make a healthier life, there'll be lifelong effects.
Let's ask a really important question, okay? Let's just jump right in the deep end.
Okay.
In your opinion, I don't know what percent, but let's say you got a kid staying at home, sitting in front of a screen for 5.5, 6 hours. Good or bad?
Well, I have
from a health perspective.
I have 3 kids like that. We are in virtual learning. Anytime you're sitting sedentary, focus on one thing for an extended time, it's not good for you overall, for your health, for your mental stability, for your mind.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it. But just think of adults, how fidgety and how antsy it is after even just a half an hour, an hour Zoom call of some sort. Right?
About after a 10-minute interview.
You need to get
sorry.
Live. But think about that with children and how much more it affects our children, because they are developing as every moment that they're alive. They are developing, they are changing, they are learning, they are growing. So everything for them is even of more paramount importance. So when they're sitting for 30 minutes, an hour, even with a couple-minute break, it's just not good for their bodies and their minds. They really need to get out there. They need to make sure that they're getting outside. And that's what I do in my family. I have 3 kids, and they are virtual school all day long. And I tell them that they need a break. They need a mental break, an outside break. They need to get that vitamin D. They need to move their bodies. They need to rest their eyes. I mean, they're all getting headaches, and it's a hard life. This is a hard time for kids, for adults as well, but kids in particular, especially because they're missing that social component. They're missing the playtime. They're missing so much that they normally get. So absolutely, it is not a good idea to be in front of a screen, whether you're in virtual learning or whether you're playing, having fun with friends, Minecraft, Fortnite, any of the games. You need a break. Your mind needs a break. Your body needs a break. Absolutely.
Let's talk about it from the dietary standpoint. So you get somebody who's sitting there, they get they're in 80-minute class. They get a 5-minute break. They run in the kitchen because you can't do that at school, and they get a chocolate bar. Or, I'm trying to think of a Twinkie. What's the prototypical bad piece of junk food anymore? Candy, whatever.
Anything. It could be any kind of junk food.
Yeah. So, not that a kid nowadays is going to run in and get an apple, or maybe some would, but what do you recommend? I see kids, I'm tutoring kids, they're eating all kinds of stuff. And, but give us a recommendation here from a healthy standpoint.
Well, a couple of things I want to add about that. Being at home in general, it makes it more challenging because you're constantly around the kitchen. So in particular, adults and children, when they're bored or if they're doing something and it's getting tedious and they just need to change the scenery, they will often go in the kitchen and get something to eat. So they're not necessarily even hungry. They're just wanting a change. They're wanting some stimulation of some sort. They want to feel good. So right there, that in itself is not necessarily a good thing because they're not feeding. They're not intuitively eating. They're not feeding their bodies what their body needs at that time. But also then we have the choices that many kids are eating. Now, as a teacher, when I was teaching, I see, and even as a mom, I see what kids are eating for snack foods. I even see it in sporting events. When my kids play sports during halftime or at the end of the game, they get donuts and Gatorade, which is all sugar and simple carbs. So it's not only the fact that the kids are eating maybe when they're not hungry, but they're also not making the best choices. Now, kids are tricky because they want to have control. They want to feel that they can make decisions. They don't want to be told what to do, but they also need to be educated. So what I find with children is we need to teach them how food will make your body feel. So let them make some of the decisions because they're going to regardless. However, if you don't have the food in the house, they are limited. But as they get older, they will make their own decisions. So you want to give them the knowledge that they can choose better choices. So not every kid is going to choose the best choice, and that's understandable. They're kids. Not every adult makes the best choice. But if we give them the knowledge, so let's talk about what knowledge we want to give them, right?
Right. So okay, let's right. What you got the stage here? What do you want to tell the people out there saying, okay, I'm hungry, I'm legitimately hungry, or I need a snack? What's going to help me be a better student? What's going to stimulate me with my neural, mental stuff? What's brain food? Can we use that word?
You want to make sure. So we need our energy from complex carbs predominantly. We prefer that.
So give an example. Complex carbohydrate is a
complex carbohydrate. We would like that, but we want to pair it with a protein and fiber, and that's really important. So we don't want to simply say go get pretzels because that's a simple starch, and we're going to get a blood sugar spike. So what we should be teaching our children is when you have a snack or a meal, you want to make sure you have something with protein and fiber in that with that meal or snack. So just getting a bowl of pretzels it's great, might satiate them for a little bit, but what's happening is I'm going to show my hands here. Their blood sugar level is going to spike, and then they're going to crash, and then they're going to have mood issues. They're going to lose their focus. They're going to be irritable. They're going to want to move around and not really want to focus. So what we want to do is, okay, so let's say they want pretzels, give them maybe a couple nuts. If you have allergies, of course, don't do nuts, but some kind of protein, something with higher fiber. So I always say apple and peanut butter or apple and nut butter, or even some crackers, whole grain crackers and some cheese. So I like to pair a carbohydrate with a protein and some fiber. And it really will make a difference. It'll make the kids feel satiated longer, and it'll help prevent them from having that crash that we tend to feel when we have those simple carbs or sugar.
So pretzels?
Not necessarily, because there's better than...
But as the only thing, no, right? Because it's a short burst.
Cookies, but just there are choices, ways that you could add things to make them even better choices. So even, some kids love carrots, hummus and carrots. Not everybody likes hummus, or even, you can make it fun. Or my kids love, we call it ants on a log, but I make it with bananas, peanut butter, and they put some, raisins on there, and they love that. So, just something with protein or a healthy fat.
See, you bring up an interesting point because there is some prep involved, right?
Yes.
There can be, right? So maybe what makes some sense is in the morning, you kind of do your food prep. And so you have it. So, because I know in my case, if I'm hungry, even if I'm not hungry, but something triggering me to want to go eat, it's a path of least resistance, right? Yeah. I go in the kitchen, whatever's the easiest thing to grab, because everybody's too late. We're not going to cook at that point, if I got 2 minutes. So I think if you maybe the day before that morning, cut up some celery or get your carrots ready or slice some apples, then it's easily available. So you don't have maybe the temptation to go to the dark side of the diet.
Yes.
Is there any?
But ideally, that makes sense. But I just want to add one quick thing. The other thing is granola bars. They're easy. They're portable. However, there are good granola bars. I don't want to say good, but there are better choices of granola bars and granola bars that maybe aren't the best choices. So even something that is processed, pre-made. I'm not telling you to go out and make gourmet snacks for your kids either, because I'm a mom of 3, I'm working. That's not always feasible at all. So what I'm saying is there are also better choices. Granola bars, there are some better choices. There are some, you can, if you are a wise shopper and you know what to look for, Like I'll give you a tip that you're that might be helpful for some people. When you're getting
Mm-hmm.
any kind of ingredients, look at the label. Or if you're at the supermarket, let's say you want to get a snack or cereal or some kind of granola bar, some sort of protein bar, I don't know, whatever you want to get your kids, you want to look for three things on the label. And we
Okay.
call it the 3-6-3 rule. So basically, you want to have at least 3 grams of fiber, less than 6 grams of sugar, and at least 3 grams of protein. So once again, that's at least 3 grams of fiber, less
Hmm.
than 6 grams of sugar, and at least 3 grams of protein. So there, that way you can make some better choices, and your kids can help you figure out some of the better choices that you can get.
What would be an example of something that would have that everybody might know?
Well, all cereals, if you look at cereals, the issue with our cereals are they tend to have too much sugar.
Yeah.
So you have to be creative and look,
Okay.
or for a lot of those fruit bars and granola bars. You know, some of them have added sugars. Some of them have high fructose corn syrup. You want to stay away from that. Some have hydrogenated oils, trans fats. We want to stay away from that. So it's just basically label reading, knowing that there are some better choices for certain things. Even with cookies, I mean, there are some better choices than others. You just have to know what to look for.
Let's what would you say to the parent might say, well, my kid's a picky eater. They never liked vegetables, or I don't know. Yeah, I'm lucky they can get him to eat pizza, macaroni and cheese. And you know, I mean, it's not a judgment, because it's hard. It's hard to force anybody to do something they don't want to do. But do you have any opinion about that?
Sure. I always say start young and getting them to try a lot of different things. Bring them to the supermarkets, farmers markets, have them garden with you, have them do your own garden so that they feel some ownership with that. Make
Mm.
fun, trying new things fun. I do rainbow charts with some of my families that I work with, where they get to chart off the colors of the rainbow. Because the more colors you eat, the more varieties of these phytonutrients, which are so important from these fruits and vegetables, the better it is, the more variety. So we do rainbow charts. You know, how many reds can you eat today with greens and yellows and oranges and blues and purples? How many can you get? And also explain the difference between a blue from a blueberry, um, or some other berry versus a blue from a piece of candy. That there's a very big difference between that
Mm-hmm.
blue versus a blue that is natural and from the ground and grown. So go over, talking about that, but having kids try things. It could take kids 8 to 10, much more times to try a food. I can tell you, I used to hate avocados, could not stand them. Now I absolutely love them. It's just a taste that I developed. Taste change as well. But kids have to know that, they have to be able to try some things. Now, especially in the special ed field, I know that there's a lot of textural issues with food. So there are, of course, some special things you can do, and those are very individualized cases. So,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes texture isn't an issue. But really, my suggestion is try new things. Let the kids try star fruit. Go to the market. What is this cool shape? What does it taste like? Let's have fun with it. Make it a science
What
experiment.
what do they taste
Just
like? I actually never ate one. Is it like sweet, like a papaya kind of?
yeah, I mean, it's sweet. It's almost like a pineapple
Hmm.
pear combination. Actually, this is kind of fun. Have you ever heard of a pawpaw tree? I don't know if
Pawpaw
you've ever heard of
tree.
that.
No.
Pawpaw. They're a native tree, but they have these pawpaw fruits. And
Hmm.
I should have brought it in. I always like to show you the
Yeah,
new.
I know that is true. Haley's as a repeat. I should say a repeat offender, a repeat guest
Right.
between the podcast and some other things I've done here. Yeah, in fact, Haley, maybe you can show people your cool avocado knife if we get a break.
Oh,
But
I have to go grab it.
yeah,
But
I
the
know.
pawpaw, that's an unusual fruit. You don't get many of them. And it's like a combination of a pineapple and mango. It's really
Hmm.
fun. Just have the kids try it, and really don't put pressure either. Be careful about making a power struggle. We really want to try to keep away from power struggle. However, we're not going to give our kids all these different choices where they can say, I'm going to eat the pizza rather than maybe some of the other things you want them to eat. So you have to, pick your battles, but really try to get the kids excited about trying new things. And I really say gardening is a great way of getting kids involved as well.
So
Also,
to
you can
summarize,
another
a little bit. So variety. So try variety. Colorful things, because that tends to bring in different kind of nutrients. Let me shift gears a little bit here. One of my goals here, Steve Green here with we are Education Live Thursday. I'm also the host of the Make the Grade podcast. I got my guest, Hallie Steinberg from Hallie's Healthy Living. You can see that scrolling along the bottom of the screen if you are live. And you got a Facebook group, Hallie's Healthy Living Facebook group. What goes on in the group? What's the secret sauce in your group there? Can you tell us?
Well, I love educating people, and I love sharing things that I'm interested in. So the group is purely a forum to share things that I've learned. This past week, I've done a whole thing on apples and why apples are so healthy. And
I saw that picture. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I try to make it something that interests me. I do a lot with recipes and just fun facts about food. And I try to do things with gardening. I make it something that I would be interested in. And I love people interacting and asking questions. It's a great resource for families, I think.
What do you? I think it's easy. Let me think. I want to ask you this. My impression is once you establish a lot of these habits, it's easy to keep it going. And when I say habits, I mean positive eating, dietary habits. I think it's difficult to establish them, or challenging. I'll use the word challenging, not difficult. So what would you say to a parent who said, Hallie, I tried, I just couldn't get my kids to do it, or it was, by the time I come home from work, I'm too tired to make a salad. So much easier just to heat up X. Let's get everybody motivated here. Is there a way to kind of just, make that easy for people, or is it just a matter of priorities, or both?
I think it's a little of everything. I understand that. I understand that parents. Sorry, there was a lag. I thought you were still talking.
It was a little lag.
I understand parents. This is a hard time for everybody. Parents, and so I think we have to give ourselves some grace and realize that we're doing the best we can. So watch, for putting too much pressure on yourself. But I think it has to be a family goal, a priority, as you said, but also modeling behavior. If we're talking about ourselves and, critiquing ourselves personally or other people, our kids see that. If we're upset and we want to go and eat a donut and some soda because we're feeling upset, our kids are seeing us do that. So not only do we want to model this behavior, but we also want to give the education to help give them the foundation so that when they are older, they can make the best choices. So some of the things I work with when I work with people are the 4 pillars of health, which is the L.E.A.N acronym. L.E.A.N standing for L, lifestyle.
Talk about that some more.
Okay. So L.E.A.N stands for L, lifestyle, E, exercise, A, attitude, and nutrition. So those are the 4 pillars of health, where no matter what age, we really focus on that, because it's not just about what you eat, it's how much you move your body. It's the lifestyle you live. How much water are you drinking? When are you eating your food? And also, of course, your mindset. So much of what I do is attitude. And so you were just referring to people as making it a priority. Well, it's very easy to be down on yourself. You just have to sometimes make sure that there's no excuses and make your priority of health. Because as we say, in financial world, you invest in your IRA, which is your individual retirement account. But what we're doing with the health world is your IRHA, which is your individual retirement health account. So everything we're doing now is preparing us for our later years, our children. So we just have to, decide where we want to be, what we want to do. And I think most important than anything is to know that this is a journey, and that we're going to have ups and downs. We're going to make mistakes, and there's no perfect way of healthy. Everybody's healthy in their own way. And sometimes we're going to make better choices and sometimes we're not. And that's okay. And just it's a process of learning.
For those parents who are listening or watching or catching this whenever they can you possibly maybe give them maybe a sample menu what they could maybe make for breakfast or lunch or snacks? They're home. Let's paint a picture here, okay? And this is probably your life, right? Okay. So you wake up, you got to get your kids out of bed, you got to get them ready for 8 o'clock or whenever they got to log into school. I mean, normally you're driving them to school or catching a bus or whatever, right? So you got to hustle, do all that. Then you maybe got to go off and get in front of your computer to do your job for somebody. In the middle, they get a break. They want a snack. So is there some like easy, accessible sort of menu that you might be able to suggest to people to kind of make it through that day where everybody's happy, everybody's not stressed, but as a parent, you also feel, hey, I got my kids on a healthy track, which should help their academics, should help their focus, all those things we haven't talked about a ton tonight, but we're sort of assuming that, at least for the time being. But any just simple things?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I do like to prepare things ahead of time. So sometimes you can make an egg in a muffin tin. You can make a little omelet ahead of time. And so that put them in the fridge and the kids can snack on that, or in the morning,
Okay.
they can have that. Oatmeal with some nuts and some dried fruit, maybe some honey is a great way of beginning the day. Even as I mentioned, the banana with peanut butter and some raisins, or a
What do you
bowl of
call it? Ants
cereal.
on a
I mean,
stick?
there's a
Oh,
lot of, yeah, well, it's like instead of ants on a log, we make it ants on a banana.
oh, ants on a banana. Okay. Oh, the raisins are the ants. I get.
That's
Okay. I just sort of
yeah.
visualized that for a second. I get it. Nice. Hmm.
Oh no, that's what I meant to say. I said it wrong. But eggs are a great source as long as you don't have the allergies again. But when I mentioned about sneaking things in, I don't mean being deceiving, but there's some great ways of adding fruits and vegetables into food. I mean, you could put them in muffins. You can put fruits and vegetables in muffins, purees, shredded carrots. I mean, you can do fun things with smoothies. The kids can help you make smoothies and add things and let them decide what they want. Um, Breakfast is so important, especially because the way it starts our day, and we
Mm-hmm.
call it brainy breakfast because it really starts our day going. And you really want to make sure you have the healthy fats in it, the proteins, and the fiber, as I mentioned, to start your day off strong. Sometimes kids will wake up and not be hungry, but it's really important to get them eating, because what's going to happen is if they don't eat a breakfast, they're going to end up snacking, and they're going to come in and they're going to get some food that maybe is not quite as nutritious as a healthy breakfast. But cereal is a great choice. I mean, there's some great choices out there that aren't complex that you have to spend a lot of time on.
Let's kind of go to the other side for a second. Are there any foods or types of food or fake foods that you really would tell people just stay away from? We're not. I don't want to give any clinical advice here because we're not medical doctors. But is there anything you would say? You know what? This is just on the no go. Don't go there list. That maybe are things that people are commonly eating. And they might not even be aware that they're not particularly healthy for them or
Yeah.
healthful for them.
Yeah, I got three to remember.
Okay,
Trans
three.
fat, or high
Okay.
hydrogenated oils, anything with a trans fat. You don't want to have those. That actually affects your cell membrane, your nerve cells in your brain. It affects your cholesterol, affects your heart.
I'm writing this with a red pen because
You
it's
don't
bad.
want to have high fructose corn syrup, which is, yeah, yeah. A high fructose corn syrup. Basically, it's corn or cornstarch. Basically, it's used as a sweetener. That also affects your brain. It affects your cholesterol. It affects diabetes for people. It has some real harsh effects in the body, especially for kids. And then the
Mm-hmm.
third one, so that was two. The third one is anything that's artificial flavoring or coloring. And those are called excitotoxins. And basically, what happens is kids in particular are far more susceptible to excitotoxins, which basically
Right.
are these artificial things that go through the brain and affect how our brain functions. They go
Mm-hmm.
through the blood brain barrier. So we want to stay away from things like artificial coloring, sweeteners, anything with a number in the ingredients.
Like red
Those
dye number
things we
two
really
or
want to stay away
whatever.
from,
Hmm.
especially kids.
So trans fats, bad. High fructose corn syrup, bad. And fructose itself isn't bad. Fructose is in fruit, but not the way it gets processed in this particular case. And yeah, there are legit medical clinical studies showing the whole Feingold idea that these dyes, the red dye, the yellow dyes, the blue dyes, are contributory with a lot of the attention issues, attention, ADD, things like this. Is there any single food that has all them high trans fat, high fructose corn syrup, and a lot of colors in it? Probably like a
Well, you want to
pink.
stay away from a lot of these, a lot of the Gatorades. You want to stay away from the sodas. But you'd be shocked at what ingredients some of these things. I mean, some breads have high fructose corn syrup. I mean, you have to really read your labels. You'd be surprised what's in a lot of these things.
You have anything going on, Hallie? Like events or seminars or something that you're doing that you might want to tell people about?
Always doing something.
Now, I know you keep it. No moss grows under you.
Right now, I'm
okay.
I'm teaching at home as well with the kids. I would say coming up in October, I'm going to be doing a group session with some parents to talk about basically some ideas of what to do, kind of similar to what we talked about, and give a little bit more depth of some of the nutrition facts as well as some of the lifestyle tips. So we're going to do a weekly group for parents for kids' health, and that I'm going to post that on my Facebook group. I don't have the date set yet, but that's towards the end of October.
All right. Is that something that might be available to people watching or listening here, or is that more of a closed thing?
No, that's absolutely available. So to find out, I'll be placing it on my Facebook group within a week.
Okay. So we got that going in the banner underneath there. Check that out. Anything else? Anything new and exciting?
Well, exciting. I don't know. Day to day right now is exciting.
Yeah.
I just want to, I know we're wrapping up, but I want to add one more thing. You know, we should talk about a little bit about getting your kids to exercise. I call it play. You know, as they get older, it's more exercise and activity. But really getting your kids outside or even inside of a training, but moving their bodies is so important. You know, so many of our kids are really sedentary now, especially with electronics, not even just for school, just for regular hanging out and how they socialize. But it's so important to get our kids to move their bodies at least 30 to 60 minutes a day. Not only does it help our bodies, but our minds. It releases those good, happy hormones. It helps us with our ability to focus, especially academic performance. And it helps our bodies in so many ways. So really get those kids outside, getting that vitamin D, that sun, use sunscreen as needed. But really getting them to move around and play. That's just so important.
Is so the clear message here is healthy lifestyle equals some diet, some physical exercise, some knowledge, food choice. There's a lot of things go into it, but it really isn't that complicated when you have the right information and you have the right habits, correct?
Yeah. Yes, it really can be simple. I mean, they're choices you have to make every day, but it doesn't have to be complex. It can be simple. Just every day, try to make a different change. Maybe a small change that will make a difference. Do you hear my dog trying to? That's my dog.
I can hear the dog. What's it trying to do?
Trying to get in.
I'm doing this. Now you can let the dog in. This is an animal-friendly show.
Here, he lets himself in. Here, you want to see him? Here he is.
Let's see.
He gets a cameo.
It is a big dog.
He is a big
dog. There we
dog.
go. Hi. Well, woof, woof. Woof, woof. Welcome. Well, listen, this is a first. Welcome our first canine non-human visitor to Education Live Thursday. Steve Green, my guest, Hallie Steinberg, certified health coach, special education teacher, mother, dog parent, and all-around helpful, positive person. My goal here is always simple, to give people actions that they can do to maximize their education. And, my hope is people have listened to this, heard this, and there's something they can do right now. Maybe go out, cut some carrots so your kids have no more, cut some celery, get some apples, make the raisin on the log. I'm having trouble remembering the name of that. But it actually sounds pretty good. But one thing I do agree with you is if you involve the kids and make it fun, instead of just dogmatically saying eat this, eat this, eat this, or else, like my parents used to eat your broccoli or eat your lima beans, and of course then immediately the kid says I don't want to do it, and they might even like them because they don't want to be told what to do, right? So I think when you have the involvement in that teamwork, it makes things a lot easier. Anything you want to just leave everybody with here? My goal for tonight was, not to solve every nutrition problem in the world, but to give people who've got kids who really need the right ideas and the right advice, some just basic, simple things they can put into action, maybe even tomorrow. But is there anything we left out or anything you really want people to know that we haven't gotten to?
One more thing, hydration. We didn't talk about water.
No, I got my water. Go ahead.
Adults need half our weight in ounces, half our body weight in ounces every day. Kids need 1 ounce per body weight. So if your child weighs 70 pounds, he or she needs 70 ounces of water at least a day. So really make sure, and that's not including the sugary beverages or anything caffeinated. So we really make sure that those kids staying hydrated, especially if they exercise or have a lot of play and get sweaty, they need to even have more. So especially when we're in front of the electronics where we can get headaches and, get brain fatigue, eye fatigue, making sure we drink the water will really help. I keep adding things.
Yeah, no, look, all right, let me summarize here. We got the 363. Well, 363. We got the rainbow chart.
Yeah.
We got the lean idea. Okay. We got the bad trans fats, the bad corn syrup, and the artificial flavors and colors. You got drink lots of water. We covered a lot of ground in not a whole lot of time. If somebody wants to reach you to get more advice or maybe just talk nutrition or get a profile, tell them how they can get a hold of you. What's the best way?
Thanks. Absolutely. Well, first off, you did great note taking. Very good note taking. You made the grade.
Thank you, Hallie. I'll put it on the top here.
So my website is probably one of the best ways to reach me. Very good. That's www.hallieshealthyliving.com.
Which is scrolling along the bottom right now.
Me. Yeah. So those are just 2 great ways to reach me. I'm accessible and I really love working with people. I always give free consultations to anybody that wants to just get to know me and kind of figure out what we would do. I do free consultations for everybody. So reach out and I'd love to help answer any questions you might have.
So I'm going to encourage everybody, take advantage of that offer because you're not going to get a better one today anyway. So Hallie, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, taking time out of your super busy life and coming back and being involved here. And if there's anything else you can add, please put it into the resource community, and we'll, maybe we can share some information between your page and the pages I have. And the whole idea here is to coach people up and just give them the opportunity to be healthier. And every day, little step, become medium steps, become big steps, and so on and so on. Let me plug a couple things of my own. We do this every Thursday night, Education Live Thursday. Next week, Patty Lou, a sports coach. If you're a parent, you got a kid who's an athlete, and you're looking maybe to try to get him a scholarship, D1, D2, D3, you want to be on this call or this event. Lots of good information there to maximize your sports potential. 15th, Carly Myers from the Stress Less Company. Love that name. And Haley, you know Carly, I think a little bit. Anyway, she's going to talk about anxiety and getting, stress release techniques, especially for children and kids in school. 15th, Samantha Feynman talking about executive functioning and many, many techniques from that. And then Sarah Lorraine, I got a school psychologist coming in. If you're a parent, you got a kid with accommodations or an IEP, and you're not getting what you need, especially in this virtual environment, that is must-see stuff. So, and I got lots of people in November too. If you have any suggestions, people you think would be valuable and can provide information to the audience here, please introduce them to me. I would love that. Lastly, this is sponsored by the Success Community, Make the Grade .community. Check it out, your place for 24/7 educational and academic support. So we're going to put a wrap on this. Hallie, thank you again. Please reach out to her. Believe me, you got so much great information here. I think this was like the tip of the carrot. This is the tip of the iceberg here in terms of information. But I mean, I don't want to really over exaggerate and say, but I think everything we talked about could have been an hour on its own, right? I mean, pretty much every little thing we went into could have been its own topic. So, you know, this is a still water run deep sort of thing. So, we are going to wrap it up. Let me get the theme song going here in a second. Everybody can get their happy dance going. Thanks again, Hallie, and I will see everyone next week. It's our happy dance, see?